Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty significant in the AI world. It's this new family of AI models called Qwen3.
That's right. They've just been unveiled by Alibaba, the Chinese tech giant, and they're causing quite a stir, generating a lot of buzz.
Yeah, and the buzz seems to be around the claims, right? That these models might actually rival or even beat some top models from Google and OpenAI.
Exactly. I mean, that's a bold statement, suggesting they're not just catching up, but potentially leapfrogging in some areas. It definitely makes you want to take a closer look.
And for folks actually working with AI, building things, maybe the biggest news is the accessibility.
Oh, definitely. Many of these Qwen 3 models, they're either out now or coming soon and downloadable under an open license, which is key.
Right, so you'll find them on places like Hugging Face, GitHub, the usual suspects for open models. That's a pretty big deal for developers and researchers.
It absolutely is. It opens up access to some potentially very powerful tools, and the range here is quite something.
You mean the sizes?
Yeah, the sizes, they go from like 0.6 billion parameters, relatively small, all the way up to a, frankly, massive 235 billion parameters.
Okay, maybe break that down a bit. Parameters, more is generally better?
Generally speaking, yes. Think of parameters as sort of like the connections in the model's brain. More parameters usually means a greater capacity to, grasp nuances, learn complex patterns, solve harder problems.
So 235 billion, that's a lot of connections, a very complex network inside.
Huge potential, yeah.
And having models this powerful coming from China and being made open, that shifts things, doesn't it? Globally.
It really does. It definitely increases the competitive pressure on American AI labs, for instance. And it also ties into all those discussions about, who gets access to the most advanced chips needed to train and run these things.
Right, the whole geopolitical layer. Now, something else interesting is this hybrid idea they're talking about with Qwen3. What does that mean practically?
Well, think of it like having two gears. It can apparently answer simple requests very quickly, like give you a quick summary. That's one gear.
Okay, the speed gear.
Right. But then it also has this thinking mode. If you give it a really complex problem, something that needs, actual reasoning, it can shift into this other gear. It takes more time, more processing power, but it can supposedly think through the problem more deeply.
So it balances speed for simple stuff and deeper reasoning for the hard stuff.
That seems to be the idea. And that deeper reasoning ability, it apparently allows the models to do some interesting self-correction, like fact-checking its own output internally.
Like some of the newer OpenAI models try to do. That internal check for consistency.
Something like that, yeah. It suggests a more sophisticated reasoning process. But as you'd expect, that deeper thinking comes with higher latency. It takes longer to get the answer.
Makes sense. You take more time to think, you get a potentially better answer, but it's not instant. And users can control this somehow, this thinking budget thing.
Yeah, that's a neat concept. The thinking budget essentially lets you, the user, sort of configure how much processing power or time the model should dedicate to a specific task.
So like, for this, just give me the quick answer, but for another task, okay, take your time on this one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Small budget for quick jobs, larger budget for tasks needing that deeper reasoning. It gives you flexibility to optimize for what you need, speed or depth.
That's quite granular control. Now, what about this mixture of experts or MOE architecture? I saw that mentioned too.
Ah, right. So MOE is used in some of the Qwen 3 models. It's a way to get efficiency, especially with really big models. Instead of having one single giant model do everything, you have a collection of smaller, specialized expert models inside.
Like a team.
Kind of. Imagine one expert is great at language, another at code, another at logic. When a task comes in, the system routes different parts of the problem to the most suitable expert.
Ugh.
Then it combines their outputs. It can be much more computationally efficient than one massive model trying to be good at everything all at once.
Got it. Specialized skills working together. Okay, so we've covered how they work, their architecture. Let's maybe wrap up with the big picture. What are the key capabilities here?
Sure. Well, first off, language support is huge. 119 languages reported. That points to serious global ambition. And the training data, nearly 36 trillion tokens.
Wow. 36 trillion. What kind of data is that?
A real mix. Textbooks, Q&A pairs, lots of code, web text, even AI-generated content, apparently. Just a massive, diverse data set, which is crucial for building capable models.
And this is all supposed to be a big step up from their last version, Qwen2.
Yeah, the improvements seem significant compared to Qwen2. The pace of iteration is, well, it's pretty fast in this field and seems to be another example.
Okay, but how do they actually stack up against the competition, the benchmarks?
Right, the benchmarks.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're winning across the board against every top model, like, say, the absolute latest from OpenAI, but they are definitely strong contenders.
Any specific examples?
Yeah, so the biggest model, the 235B1 Qwen3 235B A22B, reportedly does slightly better than OpenAI's O3 Mini and Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro on code forces.
Code Forces. That's a programming contest platform, right? Pretty tough.
Very tough. So that suggests strong coding and problem-solving skills. That same big model also apparently beats O3 Mini on the AM Math benchmark that's hard high school math and on a reasoning test called BFCL.
Impressive results, but you said that biggest one isn't public yet.
Correct. Qwen3 235B A22B is not available for download right now. So the one most people might interact with, the largest public one, is the Qwen3 32B model.
And how does that one look?
Still looks pretty good. It's said to be competitive with models like DeepSeek's R1. And importantly, it seems to outperform OpenAI's O1 on some coding benchmarks, like Live Code Bench. So even the accessible models seem quite capable, especially for coding tasks.
Beyond just benchmark scores, are there other areas where they shine?
Reports mention they excel at tool calling. That's basically the AI using external software tools or APIs. Also good at following instructions accurately and replicating specific data formats you ask for. These are, really practical things for building real-world applications.
Makes sense. And availability, besides downloads.
Yeah, they're also available through some cloud AI providers like Fireworks AI and Hyperbolic. So businesses can access them that way too, without running the models themselves.
So options for different kinds of users. We also had a quote giving some perspective on this.
You did. Tuhin Srivastava from Basin, an AI cloud platform, basically said Qwen3 is more proof that open models are really keeping pace with, and sometimes challenging, the big closed source systems. It reinforces that trend we've been seeing.
Yeah, the open versus closed dynamic is fascinating. And this is all happening with the backdrop of U.S. restrictions on chip sales to China and related tech policies.
Exactly. That context is important. Models like these, especially the open ones, will likely see significant use within China, driving domestic innovation, regardless of international access limitations for some hardware.
So wrapping this up, it feels like the big takeaway is dynamism.
Yeah.
The AI landscape is just incredibly active.
I think so. You have these incredibly powerful models like Qwen3 becoming available, often openly, gives organizations more choice than ever. Do you build on open models? Do you rely on commercial closed ones? It's a complex decision.
Right, and maybe that's the final thought for you listening. How does this constant arrival of powerful, sometimes open AI models change the game? What does it mean for innovation, for competition down the road?
It's definitely something to watch. Qwen3 is a significant marker in that ongoing story for sure, a space that just keeps evolving incredibly quickly.